It's 52.3 degrees Celsius in Delhi today, and India is in the grip of sweltering heat wave. Amitabh is joining us to give us more details about this heat wave and why Delhi is really this hot this time. Amitabh?
So it's no, we are comparing it with normals that existed say 20, 30 years ago. I mean, that's our comparison. The
Yeah.
normals that we measure against are the temperatures that existed say 20, 30 years ago, and we take the average and then we compare it to what is happening today, and then we realize that it's 6, 7 degrees higher or even higher than the normal temperatures in Delhi, which is not the case in the last few years. If you see, the trend has been that the uh, temperatures have begun to rise across the globe. We know that climate change, global warming, but even at individual places. Going forward, we won't be surprised any longer with 48, 49, 50 degrees in Delhi as well, because that will become the new normal very soon. Uh, Again, as I said, the trend is that temperatures would continue to rise in the immediate term. So, as of now, 52 degrees in Delhi is a big deal because it has never reached, right? It's a record breaking heat that we have
Right.
seen today, but probably going forward, uh, you know, 47 to 48 to somehow reaching, because if your normal is between 48 48 or 49, then one of the one day or two you would have extreme temperatures which would go beyond 50. It would not feel
Mm-hmm.
that much. So right now we are measuring it against a normal that existed 20, 30 years ago. And this year's heat wave was very well predicted also. So last year, if you remember it,
It was predicted.
yeah.
Okay.
So last year, the year itself
Mm-hmm.
was the second warmest year for
Okay.
India. It was very well predicted that globally, uh, the temperatures this year would be
Mm-hmm.
very high.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 2024 is going to be very, very hot
Mm-hmm.
uh, globally as well, and at individual locations as well. It would be. Delhi has been, I mean, the entire northern belt actually has very high temperatures during this time of the year. It's not a surprise. Uh, and
So,
yeah,
it's not a surprise.
yes,
Second, you said that it's a new normal, which is quite
it will
alarming for
become a
me
new
to
normal. Yes.
hear. And thirdly, that it was already predicted. Can you tell us on what basis or what are the causes behind this sudden weather change that we are witnessing now?
So, of course, I mean, the phenomenon of global warming is fairly well established and everyone is aware of it. Now, when we talk about global warming, we refer to the planet as a whole, that the mean temperatures of the entire planet is rising, or it is showing a rising, increasing trend. Now, within that overall trend, there would be individual locations also wherein the temperatures would uh, go very high, and that's what we are seeing right now. In fact, if you look at this northern plain area, I mean, there are a few locations in Rajasthan where temperatures routinely, almost every year, cross 50.
Mm-hmm.
There's one place called Pulodi or Phalodi in
Pulori, yeah,
Pulauri
yeah,
in Rajasthan, which has clocked 52 plus temperatures earlier as well. And routinely probably touches around 50 every year. Delhi was not having this kind of thing. I mean, but because it's in the same belt, uh, I don't think it's too big of a surprise in the sense that because temperatures are rising, because this year is supposed to be very hot, uh, I think it's just a matter of time wherein this,
right.
as I said, would become the new normal. We'll continue to, at one point of time, 40 or 42 seemed to be very, very high for Delhi. Now 48, 49 probably would become a routine going forward.
And I think I understand, Rajasthan, recording a temperature, say, 52, 53, 55, right? But I saw some visuals yesterday from Jammu, parts of Kathua, and some other parts in Jammu, which recorded 46 and 48 degrees Celsius,
Yep.
which is also worrying, right?
Yes.
Um, on one hand, we see heat wave, then we see forest fires in Uttarakhand. We also had some visuals from Jammu this morning of forest fire, and there was a cyclone in West Bengal. Uh, do you think these events are related to each other, or if you're talking about global warming, these are result or consequence of global warming at large?
So most of these extreme weather events can, in a way, get linked to climate change. Now, for the individual events, whether this cyclone is linked to climate change, that is something that would require attribution studies to be done. But what is happening is, say, for example, let's look at forest fires first, since you mentioned. Now, forest fires are a very common phenomenon during summers.
Right.
As heat goes up, the dry leaves. I mean, there are natural reasons because of which forest fires break out, and there are also man-made
Man-made,
trees.
yeah.
So the friction between dry leaves sometimes leads to fire incidents. But at other times, somebody just throwing a cigarette butt or something left burnt and is thrown into the fire.
A matchbox, or
Yeah, matchbox and those kind of things. But it's a very routine phenomenon during the summer season, because the situation is conducive for forest fires to spread out. So as you won't be surprised if in wherever the forests is, to see forest fires in the summer season. Though even during the winters there are forest fires, but this is the peak time for forest fires. Cyclones, again, this is the season for cyclones.
Okay.
You both sides of the Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal as well as Arabian Sea, you have cyclones during this time, and then again during the winter months, after the monsoon season, October, November is when you get cyclones. These are tropical cyclones. Most of them are on the Bay of Bengal side, and a few of them on the Arabian Sea side. Last year, if you remember, Gujarat had, just before the monsoon, Gujarat had a very severe cyclone. So this time, if this one is the first one. We may have more cyclones, and that's very routine because this is the season. The whole of the cyclones, they start in the Bay of Bengal, they travel towards the Indian mainland, and most of these make a landfall somewhere around, starting from northern Andhra Pradesh to Odisha, West Bengal coast, in that region, or some of them swerve further east into Bangladesh. But again, this is a very normal phenomenon. What climate change is doing, what global warming is doing, is it is making these events, extreme events, basically. It is making extreme weather events more and more frequent and more intense. So that these are happening with much greater frequency than they were happening earlier, and the intensity of these events is also becoming greater
as compared to earlier, what we have seen. We are actually getting some reports of rain and thunderstorm from parts of Delhi. Thank you, Amita, for all those details, and thank you, viewers, for watching this. If you like this video, then like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.